All right, there's my mic audio. Should be good now. Now, if I could just figure out why my chat won't display anymore, then we'll be good. Unselect the chat, reselect the chat. Let me open this over here on my YouTube account and see if it's showing okay here. Live. All right. Okay, chat works here. But it's not displaying in OBS anymore. Interesting. Well, let's see what we can find out here. Yeah, the solution apparently is restart OBS. Okay. All right. Well, that's what they say to try. That's what we'll try. I'm not sure what happens with the YouTube stream when I restart OBS. I don't know. But let's find out. Yeah, all streams. Okay. All right. We're going to shut down this stream and restart. Hopefully that fixes my... Okay, I think my chat's working again. Let's see if I can pull it up over here. All right, I think we're good. All right. Well, we're just gonna be hanging out. I got cleaning and pressing stuff. I got some boxes to go through. So you know, if anybody jumps in, has any questions, they can let me know. Oh, I should share the link to my Facebook. Facebook. I wish I could play background music, but I don't want YouTube. I don't want YouTube to flag the video. I'll have to figure out. I do have some loyalty-free backing tracks. I don't know. Would be nice to have in the background, but I guess I'm gonna prep the next book. It's gonna go in the press, and then we'll see how it goes from there. Oh, that's not unboxing. Here we are. Perfect. And then we'll turn the volume off on my computer just in case. So basically, I got over a short box of Silver Age Marvel books, and they're all in the sort of low to mid grade. Sorry, low to mid grade. So they just need a little basic cleaning and pressing to get them back into shape. So I've been slowly working my way through them. It's going to take me a long time because I have a lot of customer books that I need to work on as well. So I only do these when I've got time between my other customer books, but I try to knock them out a couple of times. As you can see, it's your standard like dirt on the spine, on the back, a little bit of waviness here in the covers. It's hard to see. Yeah, you can kind of see it there. A little waviness in the covers, a little bit of covered dirt. So if anybody joins in and has any questions, you know, you can shoot them out in chat, and I'll do what I can to answer them. But basically, these are not high grade books. We're not doing like deep cleaning and pressing on these. We're just trying to, you know, clean them up as best we can, and so that they're going to present well, so that we can obviously maximize our return on them. And in a case like this, I always take a look at a book and I get a feel for like how strong is the paper, how does the gloss feel, how much cleaning can the book handle. Some books you have to be really careful about, about how much cleaning and pressing prep work that you do on them. Oh, here, I'll put my hat on backwards so it's out of my way when I'm looking over the book. But really, for stuff like this, I'm just looking in the whites for now and looking for areas where there's, surface dirt. I like to start, it depends where in the book I'm working on. If I'm working in areas like this, I like to use a 2mm eraser. This is a, I don't even know what this is. It's not a Tombow, but it's got like a 2mm angled eraser head. And I just like to get in there with that and just get that surface material out of there. If you're wondering why I'm not wearing gloves, I do not like to wear gloves when I work on books unless they're super glossy, or sometimes if they're super brittle. I like to feel the paper. I like to be able to feel the difference in the cover between, where stuff is stuck and stuff isn't. And I just clean my hands basically first, okay? So if you clean your hands, you don't have to worry about oil and dirt transfer, all that kind of stuff, right? So we're just going for cleaning up obvious signs where dirt is collecting in here. I do have several different sizes of erasers that we use, depending on what area of the book I'm working on. Normally, I don't start with a small eraser. I usually start with my regular, just like a regular one. This is a piece of it, but like a regular gum eraser. And then I do the broad areas of the book first. But because this particular book obviously is mostly, is mostly action with white scattered in between, then I'm starting with the smaller one on that. And again, this is like I say, this is probably going to be a mid-grade book when it's done. So you sort of balance off like how much work you're going to do, to the potential the book can reach. And that's just something you learn after doing thousands of books. You get a good feel for before you even start it, how far a book can come along, how good it can become, and how much work it's going to take to do that. And there are sometimes when there's like a technical problem with a book, I don't know, tears, staple issues, stains, things like that, where you almost get locked in with the maximum potential grade. And if you're going to spend a whole lot of extra time on something else, you might not be increasing the grade of the book at all. Yes, you could be increasing the curb appeal of that book, but the grade's not increasing. So just something to consider when you clean and press for return or clean and press for a business. You have to balance the time versus your return, right? And you might look at a book and be like, well, that book's not even worth like cleaning and pressing, because the value increase of the book isn't going to balance off with the work that you're going to do. Now, another thing that I like to do when I'm using my erasers, I usually like to start with the biggest eraser first in the biggest white areas, and I work my way close to the detail, okay? And then as I get closer to the detail, I lighten up on any pressure, and I won't actually go right up against some other color section that might be in there. Then what I do is I'll switch out to a super fine eraser like a Mono Zero. Here you can see that Mono Zero is like a 1mm eraser, and you can use that to get in between all this stuff. As far as eraser technique goes, some guys will tell you, you know, only go one way, only go the other. It really depends where in the book you are. If you get close to the edge, you want to work away towards the edge to prevent potential tearing, and see how that goes. Oh, sorry guys, I'll be right back. Hey guys, I'm back. Family just got back in, so what was I saying? Yeah, eraser directions. A lot of guys will talk and say you can only erase in a certain direction. You can only go this way. You can only go that way. Don't go back and forth. Only go one direction. Not to ban the eraser. I think you have to look at a book and decide. When I'm working in by detail, either I'm going to start by the detail and move away from it and always go that direction, or I might follow it. It's just, you have to get a feel for what works for you. Sometimes I'll do little circles or patterns. It just doesn't really matter. There's no right choice, okay? Whatever works for you, you should go with, and practice will tell you what works for you. All I can say is, as you get closer to the edges of the books, you want to move towards the edge so that you don't damage any paper. Or if you are working sideways adjacent to an edge, because you have to, because of the way a certain dirt is, you want to go on an angle. And I'll show you that when I get into my larger eraser. I'll show you what I mean about that. And if you have a book that has like some spots of dirt and not others, I mean, you don't need to be doing the whole thing. Like if you can remove that dirt and not leave surface marks on the book in the finish, then like, why are you cleaning an area that's already clean? Now sometimes you need to feather out. If you clean in an area, you need to feather away from where you cleaned, or you have to do the whole thing, because it'll look weird, especially if it's a more persistent type of dirt. Now, as far as pressure goes, I'm not applying much pressure. Really, it's just enough you can feel the eraser sort of with a little bit of resistance on the paper, and pretty much that's it. That's all that's going on here, okay? And once I get the inside kind of where I want it, I look for little tiny spots. So there's a little bit of dirt here underneath this speech bubble. So I'm going to come in here with my mono eraser and just kind of lessen that off. And sometimes you can't eliminate a mark 100%. Okay. Sometimes you're what you're doing is just trying to make it so it doesn't stand out as much. So it looks a little more natural, right? The other thing that I like to do is after I clean an area, I like to take this is a little square of absorbing sponge. I like to take this and just kind of rub it lightly over the area, and that'll help with any sort of hazing that maybe the eraser left behind. And also, depending on the finish, you can use a pad and you can polish the book afterwards as well. Whatever works. Now, like I was saying, when you work close to the edge with a larger eraser, which I'm going to show you guys. So this is the piece that I'm working with. Obviously, this is just a piece of an eraser. It started off being a regular gum eraser. If I'm going to clean this spot next to the edge, I'm not going to go back and forth right on the edge. I'm going to kind of come down on an angle off the edge of the paper, okay? Like this. And I'm not doing it super hard because the edges can be brittle. And the other thing too is you're better off to lightly go over a spot for a longer period of time at lower pressure than to get right in there and be like, I can scrub this, I can scrub this thing off and I can make it look perfect, because all you're going to do is lose pieces of the edge. And then I can go in and just hit little spots. It's hard to see up here. I'm going to show you guys. This is a case where I'm going to come down at an angle across the edge. There's actually it looks like a little, it's not a tear, but you can see the paper right up here has a little pock mark where there's been like a surface tear. That's a case here. We have to be careful around that, because if we came right across that with the eraser, you could open that tear up and then tear right through the paper. And you'll notice that when I work the corner, I'm going to keep my finger on that section of the paper here to keep the paper tight and supported as I go towards that, especially towards that corner, okay? Again, no right or wrong answers. Whatever works for you is the right thing. And then there's some surface dirt here in the top, so I'm going to come across sideways, but I'm coming down on a slight angle. It might be hard to see, but I'm coming down at a slight angle, so I'm not going straight along the edge of the paper. And I'm just going to keep the paper nice and tight with my two fingers like this and come along. And then I'm going to get as much of that off with the big eraser as I can. And then I'm going to come back with this one, and I'm just going to come along the edge of that purple. And I'm just going to even that out, take off whatever else is left behind. Just like that. And that's much better now. Some guys you'll see brushing off a book with like a soft paintbrush to get the eraser shavings off. You really have to determine the quality of the paper. And a book like this is completely unnecessary, but if you had a really brittle, dry pages book, yeah, you'd want to be careful with everything. How you're handling it, how you're clearing it, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so the front's looking good. So now the back. Now, on these old books, the backs are always the worst part. You can see all this accumulation. This is sort of standard kind of stuff that always happens heavily along the spine. My erasers have like a wear mark grooved on them, and I do that specifically so I can come right along the edge of that spine, and I can rub that eraser right on the edge of the spine, and it has a little rounded spot on it, and it's perfect for getting that done. And I just work my way down the spine edge first, all the way down, being careful when I get to the staples on these square bounds, because the staples are already, there's one little spot here where the staples actually just push through the paper, and if I came across the top of that too hard, it's just going to widen that hole where that staple's coming through. And again, I move towards the edge, making sure that I'm not catching any extra paper or anything. Now, when it comes to doing this underside here, because I'm going to clean where those staples are, I don't want to push any of that staple, more of that staple through here. So if I see if I can show you guys, that staple right there, the edge has just got a little tiny wear hole through the paper. We don't want to make that any worse than it is, so I'm going to take a sheet of 20-pound paper and I'm just going to put it under there, so that way when I come back and I clean this, spine, then I'm not going to be making that hole worse. Now, this is a case where at the edge of the paper, I go towards the paper, but in this open area, I am going to use like a swirly pattern or a back and forth. Sometimes the dirt comes off and it has a preferred way of moving the eraser to clean all that off. And I'm just going for the stuff in the big areas first. And I'll come back with my small eraser and I will hit those areas between. I'll hit them after and tidy them up. But I'm just going for big area first. I want to get most of this gunk off of this area, and then we'll go from there. Hold on a sec, guys. Hey guys. Alright, so like I was saying, I like to, especially in these backs with all these whites, I like to do all of the white areas first and get all those, the biggest areas cleaned up. And then I'll go back with my smaller erasers and do the parts in between. And as you can see, it's not an exciting job doing this part, but this is the necessary prep work that needs to be done, because you have to do your dry cleaning and everything before humidification and before the cleaning and pressing. It's important to do your dry cleaning before the humidification because wet paper is weak paper, right? So if you get the paper damp, you really can't work on it. You can do hand tooling for like indents and stuff like that, but you certainly wouldn't want to be trying to do cleaning on wet paper. It's just you're just gonna shred it. All right. So this bottom section is looking good. Clear all that out of there, and then I just rotate the book around and I just keep going. All right, so again, being careful with the edges, making sure we don't cause any extra tears. And getting all that excess stuff off. Now this book is nice because most of the stuff that's on this book is just your regular Joe Blow surface dirt. There's not a lot of like staining or anything like that. There's some little tiny spots of staining, but not very much. So the paper obviously is going to be a little bit yellowed from from age, which is just normal for paper that's this old. And that's what we would expect to see. But it's still pretty good. It's held up pretty well. And then once we got this done, then the easy part, we put it in my humidification chamber, let it humidify, and then we press it, and it'll look gorgeous. Okay, one more section of more open white space, and then we can hit those spaces in between with a smaller eraser. I'll probably do a when I post this video on YouTube, I'll do a time lapse or something on the cleaning part, so that when people rewatch it, then it won't be so tedious, because that's the big part of cleaning and pressing, is just doing the work, right? Taking the time. Oh, I also have, oh, maybe my kids have taken my other one. I do have a 4mm eraser too, which I use quite often, although I think my kids have borrowed it, so I guess we're keeping with the 2mm for now. But now we'll just use the 2mm, and I'm going to lightly go into the areas like down in here in the mailing box, where you can go in between the lines with the 2mm and just take some of that excess surface dirt, because I don't know why, but surface dirt always collects down here between these spots. I don't know if it's because of the ink creates a slightly raised area which traps debris. I don't know, but let's get down in there, clean these spots in here, clean these spots in here. And you get a feel for this once you've done this, a few thousand times. You can get a feel for what eraser will fit into what space, how much pressure you need for different types of dirt, what kind of stuff you really can't get off with standard eraser. And you have to make a decision, like, what am I going to do with that? Do I just leave it? Do I mitigate it? Sometimes doing work on certain types of flaws make them worse, and you're better off to leave them be. And that only comes with experience, right? After you've worked on something enough times, you get an idea of what can and can't be done. So now we're going to try to clean some of this dirt that's right over top of the staples, because the staples is the high spot, so the dirt always collects. Now remember, I've got a piece of heavyweight paper behind this to protect the holes so they don't get whiter. And we're just trying to get some of that surface dirt off of where the staples were originally pressing up against it, and going from there. So now it's looking pretty good. Just about ready to go into our humidity chamber. We'll give it a little wipe down with our absorbing sponge. Make sure that everything here is good. The other thing that we're going to do before it goes into our chamber is we're going to take a microfiber cloth and just wipe it off, just because we don't want any residue on the book to then get stuck to the book in the chamber and then get pressed in. So let's toss this in. And when we're going on books, we have like a circulation where, you know, book goes from the hot press to the cold press, out of the cold press, and then a new book goes in from the humidification tank, or fridge in my case, to the hot press. So this is the one that just came out, and it's way nicer now. Looking very nice, nice and smooth. All the ripples are gone. We use a mix of regular weight paper, 20-pound weight paper, SRP. Really depends on the inside of the book. Always SRP over and under in the press. But when we're determining what paper is going to go on the book. Now, this book this is a book that didn't raise up hugely in potential grade with the cleaning and pressing, but it just looks so much better. There is some discoloration. I would say from the back, it's like 6. But if we look from the front, there is a stain in here. And there is a fair amount of wear lines and stress lines along here. But I still think it's probably a pretty solid. I think it's probably a VG plus, even with this lining back through here. It's going to be hard to see on camera, but there's some color breaks running up here and color breaks running down here. But I still think we're a VG plus on that. So we'll bag that one up and have it ready to be sent out. Okay, and we're gonna mark our estimated grade on this. I think what we'll do next is I won't show you guys any more erasing because that's pretty boring unless you specifically have questions. We'll take a look at some monster books that we got in. So VG plus might even be a VG fine, a 5. But I'd rather be a little bit on the conservative side on the grading, and not have somebody be upset with us because they think that we overgraded the book and took advantage of them or something. So I'd rather be a little bit conservative. All right, give me a second, and I will grab a big box full of monster books. Okay, so we picked up through a Facebook auction group. There was somebody who had a whole bunch of monster magazines they wanted to sell. They didn't know how they were going to sell them or how they were going to do it. And most monster books aren't worth a lot of money. There is a collectability in the market. Some are. So we offered a price per book to buy all of them. I think he had 96 of them. And they just came in the other day. We haven't even opened the box yet. So I thought we'd open that box up, take a look, and see what's in there. Now, this customer told me that these books were in the sort of 8 to 9 range, so VF to VF near mint. So let's hope they are, because if they are not, we're stuck with them. This is a seller who I know who they are through somebody else. I wasn't worried it was a scam, but they don't use like PayPal goods and services. It's all EFT with receipt, kind of blah blah blah. So there's no getting the money back if they're not what they're supposed to be. But I have no reason to think that they won't be. So let's see here. Yeah, monster magazines are experiencing a renaissance right now. He did send me a receipt, which is good. No HST number on that, but whatever. We'll deal with that later. Okay, so let's take a look here. Looks like they were. Oh yeah. Yeah, these are in fine. I mean, they're not super high grade. Here, let me show you guys here. So, famous monsters of Filament, and I know there's glare, guys. Sorry about that, but it's just because I have to have the overhead lights on when I'm looking at books, or else I can't see them. But famous monsters of Filmland. So you can see there is a Frankenstein's monster. And yeah, they're actually in nice condition. I would say even with the you can see how they get a little bit of discoloration on the edges. Multiple color breaks on the sides. Yeah, so they are probably, this one probably is an 8. A little color breakdown in there, but yeah, it looks like it could be a VF. Worst case, VF minus. So that's pretty cool. People are interested in monster books again, especially like the classics. I mean, Godzilla covers are coming back strong. Any of the classic monsters. Guess what happened to Count Dracula? Famous monsters. I know there are some in here that are big name characters. Close Encounters, Alien Horrors, Star Crash Flash, Macabre Mummy. It's pretty cool. Like, I just like the covers. Like, the graphics are really cool on these. I don't know why this one keeps going back to this here. There we go. So, well, it looks like we have some other people online. It says that there's 5 people watching now. Almost more than I can fit on one hand. Feel free to say hi in the chat if you have any questions. I'll do my best to answer them. I was very boringly cleaning a comic book just previously with an eraser. Now we're looking at famous monster books from a box that we just got in the other day. Oh, what movie is that from? It's not. Oh, it's escaping me. Let's see what else we got in here. Oh, disgusting. Famous monsters, and there's a Star Wars contest in this one. First new Star Trek movie, Star Wars 2. So who knows? Maybe there's some like, here, now this is cool. Jaws versus Ape. Now, I noticed they're not calling him King Kong. I don't know, maybe they're not allowed to call him King Kong because of some sort of copyright issues on here, but that's pretty cool. Oi! That's the sand, not the Jawas. The Jawas were the little guys. I forget their names. It's escaping me. That's the live streams, guys. Live streams. You got to remember everything on top of your head, and my memory's not as good as it used to be. But the sand guys that were shooting with the rifles from the ridge. It's actually a pretty cool cover. Well, hey, Steve. Yeah, this is the I did a little cleaning of a book with some basic eraser cleaning. And then now we're just looking at some the Monster Magazine's Famous Monsters box just came in the other day. So we're taking a look at those. Thank you, Tusken Raiders. Thank you, Andrew. See, you can always rely on your regulars to help you out. And welcome, guys. Oh, also, the reason that the giveaway didn't work last time, my first stream, is customers or viewers have to kind of be enrolled in a loyalty points program in Streamlabs, okay? And basically, when you view live streams, it sees that you're watching it and it adds you to that program so it can draw you out of that program. Well, because it was the first stream, there weren't any users in it. And I didn't have it enabled because, well, I didn't know. So now I know. So anybody that views a live stream now, basically you'll get added to that. So when I do giveaways, you'll be in the loyalty program. So we need to run some streams and get people rolled into that so that when we do the next giveaway, we're in good shape. Oh, this is cool. Darth Vader. It's funny, I guess Darth Vader is considered a monster. I mean, under his armor, right? So that's cool. 250 Darth Vader poster prizes in our new contest. It's funny how they've had to do so little with the Darth Vader costume to keep it relevant today, right? So that is how I won so easily. Yeah. Well, actually, it didn't work at all, so that's why I had to make the prize wheel, right? Because it basically was saying there was no eligible entries, right? So you live and you learn. You just got to stream. I've been watching one of my people that I follow on YouTube, Brandon Ferris. He's got like 8 million followers. He just started live streaming now, and he was kind of like, you just gotta do it, and you'll figure out the weird glitches. Battlestar Galactica, one of my favorite sci-fi series of all time, hands down. Battlestar Galactica, that and the old Doctor Who, sort of like my jam. One thing I did do after our stream last time was I have a little spot monitor now that's right below this camera. So right below this camera, I have a spot monitor. So now I can look down and I can see my screen streaming, and I can see the chat, and I don't have to always be looking over here, showing people my beautiful side profile. I can actually stay looking at the camera. And then I got a better light you can kind of see the reflection of my glasses. A better light allows that to see. So, these little things. I did pick up, if anybody else is streaming, I know, Steve, you do recording, but if anyone else wants to start streaming as well, I bought a... yeah, exactly, yeah. Mistakes will be made, absolutely. I bought a little Stream Deck controller. It's like a little, it's not, the cord's not long enough for me to show you guys, but it's like a little square. It's about this big, and it's got programmable buttons. They're actually LCD buttons. When you program them, they get like a background image on them, and it allows me to just quickly switch. So, for example, if my kids start yelling in the background, I'm going to show you. I can quickly hit a mic mute, and I'll be right back. Screen. and then I can come right back and hit my whichever display I want, overhead cam, front cam, whatever, turn my mic back on, and I'm right back. So it's really great, super fast, buttons right in front of me. It was a lot less expensive than I thought it was going to be. The entry level ones actually are very reasonably priced. I think the one that I got was like regular $199, but it was on sale for like $140. So it definitely was cool. Galactica, more about it. Some weird multi-armed fly type monster. Oh, this is neat. Check this out. It's got, so Superman, it's funny, it says Superman movie at last. Exclusive photos, Battlestar Galactica, and the Star Wars contest winner from, I guess, like a toy collage or something like that, which is pretty cool. And let's keep going. There's like I think there was like a 96 books in here. By the way, in case you guys hear any weird people yelling in the background, that's just my family in the other room. I don't have a soundproof room, so hopefully you don't pick them up too much. They don't say something inappropriate. Maybe hey, let me know, Steve, how loud is my wife on the stream? Can you hear her yelling in the background?
Well, you put a lollipop in there, and I'm like, Louie and Laurie are not going to eat a lollipop. What can I put in there?
Well, let me know. Let me know how loud they are.
I was like, Louie and Laurie are not eating a lollipop. What can I put in there? And I'm looking, I'm thinking, oh, pen and pencil's got tons of those.
That's a cool Superman cover. I like this. I'm a big fan of the old Superman. That's like my Superman. I was always a huge fan of that. Yeah, I can hear her. I bet you everybody on YouTube can. Yeah, hold on, guys. Just a second. All right, so many monsters. Yep, nice and clear when you're not talking. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Yeah, they have like Italians, right? They have like 2 volume settings, off and max. Okay, that is a classic. This is that classic. Well, I guess it's not black and white, but this is a classic remake of that vampire black and white movie scene that you see a lot of other people when they're talking about like horror films. They use that capture from that video, right? And it's this. It's the vampire in black and white on the side of the bed over top of the other person there. Yes, same. Yeah, it's the way it goes, right, Steve? Love at first bite. Funniest Dracula movie ever. That's cool. Oh, plus Moonraker and Amityville Horror. Yeah, that is a cool cover. What? What do you mean a test raffle is going on for viewers? There is no test raffle. I don't know why it said that. Let me see if I can find out why. Why is it saying it's a test raffle? Let me log into my Streamlabs here. Dashboard. There is no raffle. Raffle. That's weird. Yeah, it's I don't know, Steve, but I'm gonna go to my CloudBot and I'm gonna go to timers. Interesting. There is no timer. Okay, there is no giveaway timer. All right, well, I'm just going to... Oh, that's funny because it activated itself, but okay, cancel, cancel, close entries, cancel, confirm. Let me just delete that so it can't possibly, hopefully, do that again. Good news, guys. It has successfully pulled Andrew, Steve, and Marcus into the loyalty program for future giveaways, so you're all covered. Doctor Who, my jam. Classic Doctor Who. The Daleks. How they were able to make a rolling garbage can seem so evil. It was a incredible. Thank you for okay. Well, the stream likes one stream. Yeah, yeah. Stream. Yeah. So the contest ended. It was canceled. Yes, that's fine. Thank you. Okay. Famous monsters. Well, this is interesting. This alien image, terrifying photos from the movie. Yeah. But if I remember, wasn't this scene only in that that newer alien movie they made where they go back to the wreck and they find all the old I guess the hunters or something that were hunting the aliens, and they were all like in sarcophagus and giant in behind these navigators, and they had this big machinery thing in there. I don't remember this from any of the original Aliens movies. Oh, classic. Moonraker, Jaws. Frank Langella. Oh, it wasn't the first Aliens, eh? Oh, okay. I guess I'm going to have to watch it again. This alien head apparently has like a alien screw head in it instead of the secondary mouth. Maybe originally they were designed to have that so that they could, if they bit your head, they could drill into your brain or something like that. More aliens, more on the Alien movie. What experts are saying about it? Like, who were the alien experts back then? The experts that would tell you about, how the Alien movie was going to shake out. Exclusive Buck Rogers interview. Now that's really like old school sci-fi when you get back to Buck Rogers. Well, that and Space Family Robinsons, I guess. Disney Super Space. Oh, Black Hole. That takes me back. I forgot about Black Hole. I mean, for the time that it was released, it was probably, it was cutting edge, right? It was like 2001 Space Odyssey when that movie came out. It like blew people's minds, right? Yeah, Buck Rogers was a fun show. More famous monsters for Black Hole. Ooh, what is this? Advanced news and photos on 4 new Fright films. Oh! Fabulous Contest of the Fog. That's cool. Photos from Friday the 13th. Make some more space here. A lot of books in this box. Saturn 3. The Humanoid and the Crimson Cult. Generic space villains. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because some movies, when you go back and you look at them, they really do stand the test of time. And other ones you look back and you're like, how did I think that was the best thing since sliced bread when it came out? But it was, right? Cutting edge. The Darth Vader interview. Look, Boba Fett back here, and oh, I forget the name of this. That assassin robot in the back. They now have their own comic book series now, though. You can watch them on the droids. Oh, this is a cool cover, too. All the main characters from the movie with the AT-ATs in the front. Yeah, what is this? Close Encounters of the Third Kind. So we got some nice generic space aliens in here. I think they look like they're gray. They're not green, but they definitely are little. What we got here? Let's see, what else have we got? Bozak. Oh yeah, that's it. Scary old lady monster. What is this? Battle Beyond the Stars. Oh, Flash Gordon. Fabulous photos of the legendary Lon Chaney series. So this is a... What, did I typo something? Steam, not a stream? Oh, thank you for liking the Steam. Well, I mean, Steam is nice. I don't get me wrong. It is nice to have some Steam. Now that is funny. Yeah, I guess spell check doesn't work in Streamlabs. Let me fix that. Thank you for liking the stream. Hopefully the next time that comes up, it'll be spelled right. Now that is a boxy robot. Who is this? The most devilish movie you can imagine. The Devil and Max Ugh, man. That is nasty. Oh, more Star Wars. Another nice Darth Vader cover. This will be great because the Darth Vader collectors will be happy to get some of these old Darth Vader covers. Superman 2 first photos and story. Generic monster with like a mushroom mouth. Empire Strikes Back. I wonder if somebody in the comic community would be like, oh, the Monster Magazine, that's the first cover appearance of Yoda, before the comic series was released. Although, hold on, what year was this? The comics were already out. But every so often you'll get someone who does that. They'll be like, oh, I saw an advertisement with their image on it, so that's the first appearance. And they try to get people to hype it up. Superman, Zod and his cronies, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Son of Rocky Horror Show, American Werewolf in London, another Frankenstein cover. What is this? Hold on. The Origin of the Lost Ark, The World of the 1995 and a Heartbeats. I don't know what that is. That's kind of a funny cover. It almost reminds me a little bit of Doom Patrol with the robot face. Clash of the Titans. Oh, Clash of the Titans was a great movie. Remember the stop motion animation in Clash of the Titans with the giant skeletons? I was just amazed at the time when that came out. You couldn't believe that, how they could make that happen, and then the amount of time that it takes to do that stop motion animation is crazy. Oh, another one of my favorite movies, The Dark Crystal, Jim Henson. That's one of my favorite ones. I guess Labyrinth too. Although The Dark Crystal I like more than Labyrinth. I thought that The Dark Crystal, the story was just so much better. The character development was great. You really thought that those puppets were real. Dragon Slayer, Conan the Barbarian in there. Star Trek and some Poltergeist. Oh yeah, more Poltergeist. Yeah, Poltergeist was also a movie that, it was the first movie that really like scared me, and it was because the bedroom scene where the kid is, the lightning storms outside and the kid's in bed and he's all scared. The lightning flashes and the tree branches are echoing the room, and he has that weird clown doll on a chair. And the lightning flashes, and he looks back, and the clown doll's gone. And then he's looking around, and he looks over the side of the bed, and the clown doll reaches out, grabs him, and drags him under the bed. I had one of those clown dolls. I could never leave it out of my closet again after watching that. After watching that movie, I couldn't do it anymore. Some nice Wrath of Khan, Star Trek. I like how they call the annuals fear books, not yearbooks, which is kind of funny. Beastman in there. Oh, and one of our favorite monsters of all time, E.T. And another classic Star Wars cover. Now that is half of the box, guys. Half. Let's see how long. Where's my stream control? See how long. I can't tell how long have I been recording for. We've been live for 1 hour. Put those Battlestar Galactica books. Okay, hold on. Let me make a note for you, Steve. Pull Battlestar Galactica books for Steve. Battlestar Galactica books for Steve. All right, I have a note. That's half the box. We've been streaming for about an hour. Do you guys, I mean, it's a small group, but I guess it's just Steve, just you, me, and Marcus now. Steve, do you want me to go through the rest of the box? Or save the other half for another time? Since mostly it's a stream for you now. I do have my stream set on ultra short delay, so I think it's runs around a 8 to 10 second delay out to YouTube, so it shouldn't be too long. Okay, all right, then we'll blow through the other half here. Let's see here. Okay, all right. Okay. Maybe what I'll do, Steve, to help you out, let me grab my... Okay. Let me just quickly grab this. Yeah, so when you set up these streams, Andrew, you can choose basically how much delay you want, and that has to do with I guess how it embeds certain kind of chat stuff. But if you choose ultra low delay, it's still 8-10 seconds delay. Like, so that's not so bad. So here, let's see here. There, that's better. Okay, so we have famous monsters. I don't know how famous this frog is, but there's a frog. Half synthetic, half human. Only boiling acid will destroy her. I don't know what movie that is from, but yes, I'm guessing boiling acid is probably a good way to kill most things. And same thing, Andrew. If you see something that you just want me to set aside for you, that's cool too. I mean, it's when we're gonna have these streams of sort of unboxing and stuff, it does give people that tune in the opportunity that if they see something like, hey, I don't know, whatever. I like giant frogs. I don't know. Save that giant frog one for me. Then we'll take care of that for you. Various. I guess this is the before and after Wolfman. I mean, he still looked pretty hairy in the before one as it was. Attacked by the dead hand in Asylum. Clear these out here. That is a very traditional giant-headed scary alien. Wolfman again, although it's odd how they've drawn the hair kind of inconsistently growing across his face. This one's that's actually this is actually a classic Filmland cover, Famous Monsters cover. I think this book might be the most valuable one out of the bunch. Super 101, the super special. Oh, hey, Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel versus the mysterious Scorpion. That's cool. Generic receding hairline, bad guy. Oh, this is the creature from the Black Lagoon, right? And also, well, not that it exactly was, but that more recent movie with the alien, the woman that couldn't speak, and basically fell in love with the alien, was based off of that one. Another fly monster. Christopher Lee. Special issue. Christopher Lee invades Los Angeles. Oh, this next one's... Oh, that is cool. Hold on. This next one's kind of neat. I was just going to say, this one reminds me of Westworld. Which, by the way, also fantastic series. Loved Westworld. But it actually says right on here, come with us to Westworld, frightening amusement park of the future. And this is from 1974, this book. Which makes me wonder how far back the whole Westworld lore goes, which is pretty cool. Scarecrow-y, kind of weird looking monster guy. Karloff in the Ghoul. Yeah, Westworld was great. I don't know if they ever planned on doing a season, because I think it was 2 seasons, right? At the end of the second season, spoiler alert, when the one artificial life form basically gets out of the the control space and is out in the regular world. If they were going to have another series of them trying to integrate into society, kind of like what was that movie? Blade Runner, right? Where they're the androids are trying to hide amongst us, and then there's groups of people that are trying to hunt them down, right? Exorcist with apparently a hot pepper, or I guess that's her tongue. Her tongue's supposed to be green. Some classic witches. Oh, look at this. Now this is my favorite monster. Little Godzilla action going on there. Featuring all of Japan's monsters. So it probably has all the Japanese monsters in here. Fun fact, I'm going to Japan in October. And I'm going to bring my Godzilla shirt with me. Well, I'll have to find out if wearing a Godzilla shirt in Japan is disrespectful or not. I'm not actually sure. I'll check that first. But I'm definitely going to hopefully find some Godzilla fans over there. Well, this one's a cool monster. It's some sort of weird hybrid plant animal monster. Oh, the land that time forgot. Some classic skeletons here. Oh, I think this is from... I think this monster was also from Clash of the Titans. The Cyclops. 20 million miles to Earth. I really can't really tell. Yeah, so I've been learning a little bit on Duolingo. It's like Japanese for travel. Basically, how to ask, where's the train station, where's the convenience store, where's the bus stop. How do I find this? Introducing yourself, things like that. How do you order food? Now, my brother, who currently lives in Australia, lived for 3 years in Japan and worked there as a chef. He's actually coming over, and he's going to hang out with us in Japan for 2 weeks. And he's going to help be our sort of native guide, and hopefully help us, steer us towards things that we really should see. And if we want to save some money, he said he'll cook for us, and he's a professional chef. So, I mean, we're not going to ask him to cook for us all the time, but it will be nice to not have to, eat out at restaurants the whole time. And we're just going to rent a whole, like a whole Airbnb condo, full kitchen and everything in there. So we sort of a base of operations. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. My daughter is excited. My wife is a little nervous because it's just me and my oldest daughter going. She's taking my youngest daughter to Disney World while we're in Japan. So this is a very cool vampire cover. I like this cover. It's sort of that classic femme fatale vampire look. Special. And don't worry, guys, I will set up my discount claim sales in advance to run while I'm away. So you guys can still bid away. Won't be pulling any books, but when I come back, yes, everything will be pre-scheduled. And yeah, Steve, that's one of those things where it's like I want to do it while I'm still, in decent enough shape to walk around for a couple of weeks and go to Mount Fuji and the mountains and hot springs and all that kind of stuff, right? Yeah, Disney World, man. It's like when I came back from Disney World, I was like, I need a vacation from being at Disney World, because you really got to be on top of your game plan, the way you plan that thing out. It can be exhausting going to Disney World. Certainly an experience, and I look back at the photos and I remember all the good times, but Disney World can be a lot of work. Oh man, look at this! Look at the size of this rat. This rat is like stealing people and hiding them up in trees. It's food for the gods, apparently. Yeah, excitement overload for sure. And of course, it's Disney World is just always busy. Like always, right? Doesn't matter the time of year; it's always busy. So you definitely, in my opinion, do not go to Disney World during um, like American holidays or like American March break and stuff like that, because it's just going to be even worse. We always went in what would be considered the off season. Um, we've been there when it was set up for Christmas, and and also for the Halloween setup. So we got to see how they changed the whole park into that. Yeah, the Tron ride. Yeah, I'd like to take the Tron ride. You gave me nightmares. Well, then that's how you know it was a good horror movie, right? If it gave you nightmares, it was doing its job. Yeah, so my two favorite rides that I was on when I was there last was the Millennium Falcon ride. Although I wasn't in the pilot or the co-pilot seat, so I didn't get like the full effect. But the Guardians of the Galaxy ride was fantastic. That was my hands down favorite ride at Canada's Wonderland. I hear that the 4D Avatar Flight of the Naboo or whatever it's called is really good. We weren't able, just the way it worked out, we weren't able to get on that one. We did like the boat ride in the Avatar section with the kids, right? So, but yeah, I mean, it's an experience. Just you gotta be be prepared, strap in, have a good plan. And you definitely need somebody in your group who's good at like planning your meals and your rides and your fast passes and all that kind of stuff. All right, we're going into the last stack, guys. Speaking of Space Family Robinsons, the classic robot from that series. I had to do both. Oh, that is rough, Andrew. And you know what? I can understand absolutely how you would get motion sickness on that ride because the no, not VR, but the display screens are so great, and the whole thing moves around while you're flying it. Yeah, for sure. Look at that! It's Godzilla against Mecha Godzilla. That's cool. One thing I did like is I did the lightsaber. You make your own lightsaber. The whole themed guy with the guy who's doing the monologue, and you got stormtroopers in the area, and you pick out all your stuff. And yeah, I can imagine, Andrew. And that was really cool. I mean, obviously it was expensive to do that as an extra, but I mean, it's the only place you can get a full lightsaber building experience. And that was really cool. So yeah, I have it here. I have to put it on my wall. I have to mount it somewhere. You could also build your own droid at a droid workshop too, where you could construct your own custom droid. Oh, and speaking of droids, yeah, Savvy's workshop. Yeah, it was cool. But you got to book it basically as soon as you're able to book it, which I think is 3 months out. You can book stuff. You got to book it right away. People were trying to walk up to get in, and I just felt bad for them. Yeah, expensive. I saw whole families in there with like two kids and the two parents. They're all making their own lightsaber. I'm like, dude, that's like $1,000 US for that. Like, that's crazy. Classic R2-D2 cover. Oh, this is neat. This looks like hold on. Is C-3PO signing his name on the Walk of Fame? That's funny. Yeah, I actually think, Steve, that what you're paying for is the experience. It's actually really well constructed. The handle's all metal. I do find that the lightsaber tube fitting has a little more flex in it than I prefer. Yeah, I know he's not a monster. He shouldn't be on there. but that like the handle's like super robust, all metal parts and everything. I think probably if you wanted a more one that you could actually swing around at like full speed and not worry about how that the top of the lightsaber is attached to the handle. There's those Facebook ads you see for them all the time. I think those probably are better for that. But if you want the whole experience like I have, and that's what I was paying for, then Savvy's Workshop definitely is. I mean, it's the place to go. I think that's Close Encounters. Oh yeah, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And the last one for tonight. Look at that. Finishing off on Darth Vader. So it's interesting that there is a fair amount of books in here that aren't, well, I guess what wouldn't be what you would consider a traditional monster. I guess you could call a special effects character, right? So there's, Star Wars characters, droids, Darth Vader, all that kind of stuff. So that's pretty cool, actually. So when we get a chance, we'll go through. I got to grade them all, although they're all in decent shape. I didn't see any that looked like they were, unless there's something else going on. But I didn't see any in there that looked like they were below an 8. I would say most of them are probably around a 9. Some surface wear, corner wear, maybe little corner bands. So we'll I'll go through that. I'll get that out there. Steve, I have no idea how much the pricing is all over the place on these. I don't think there are any that are super expensive. But it looks like most of them are sort of around the, $15 to $25 kind of dollar range ish. So we'll see what we can do for you, and I'll pull those Battlestar Galactica ones out for you. So I think, guys, we're gonna leave it there for tonight. I appreciate you guys jumping on. I will clip out the monster stuff and do a separate, so I can do a separate video post on just the monster books, and maybe I'll clip out my section where I basically went over eraser work on a book, and then we'll go from there. So have a great night, guys, and I really appreciate the time. Ciao.